Okay, what am I thinking about right now? I am thinking about, first and foremost, don't drop the mirror. And the other big thing I'm thinking about is, for the love of God, I am hoping these holes are in the right place. Oh boy, this is really unpleasant. I've measured. I'm confident that I can see out of them. And from the driver's seat, I've got good visibility. It gets past the big hips on this car. I like the way they look. What's left? Yeah, I guess that's it. This is not a great feeling. Yuck. You know, I would have done this before I painted, which I highly recommend because mistakes are cheap then. But the mirrors didn't come in until as I was painting, and I kind of cycled them in real quick to the paint process. So I never really had a chance to test fit them. Too late now, I got holes in there. Not repairable holes either, so I'll keep going. I feel okay. I feel pretty good, I guess. So let's continue with the installation. Well, for good or bad, they're in. Well, I just got the mirror in. That was the opposite of fun. Drilling into a nicely painted car is no fun. These are the mirrors I chose. Yeah, they're definitely not something you typically see in these. And I wanted something, I actually have a pair of the bullet mirrors that come with the car, and I really like those, and I was pretty close to using them. But I wanted something a little more kind of flowy, kind of organic. The rest of the car is shapely, you know, bulbous and round and curvy, and these are all of that. They fit the car nicely, and equally as important, I can see out of them. They extend up and off of the car nicely to get past the big hips, the rear hips of the car. So they're this one sits a little high. I'm going to lower that one. This driver's side is about perfect. They're adjustable, so you can kind of tilt them, obviously, up and down. But, hey, I'm happy with those. These, been dreading putting these in. There's a front shot. So, these mirrors I actually found on a Mazda Miata website, but I think they're pretty standard mirrors. These are I got them from Speedway Motors. Hollywood Smoothie mirrors. I got some smoothie mirrors on my car. Well, I guess smoothie's a good description. Oh, there we go, mirror's done. I don't know what's next, but lots of things to choose from.
So here I am installing the headlights. As you probably noticed, I had to cut the back of the bucket off of these headlight buckets. And I had to do that because I'm installing a set of LED headlight assemblies, and they're considerably deeper, so it was the only way to do this. I'll drill a little weep hole in the bottom of this, so if water does find its way in there, it can kind of drain out now that they're not sealed anymore. And second of all, you'll notice that I am not using the headlight adjustment screws that came with the kit. Mine did not fit in this basket, so I had to make my own, so that's why they look a little odd.
The headlights are in. They look great. I used one of those LED replacements. They fit in there perfectly, just like the original bulb. They look quite a bit different. Glad I painted in the trim ring to match. I think it kind of goes along with the rest of the car, but happy to get these in. A little tricky. These are no fun. The bezels, I'm not quite sure what type of magic pixie dust is required to get that bezel to stay on. They certainly do not stay on. There's no way. There's no detent. I guess lots of people complain about these. I think what I'm gonna do is actually drill a small set screw. Let me show you what these look like in place. So these are what these look like, but there's nothing that clips it on, so I don't know what's going on there. I didn't do anything wrong either, so I'm gonna probably do a small set screw or something, and I don't know, I don't feel good about epoxying it in place, but maybe, I don't know, I'll play around with that, but that's what that looks like. It's, looks good, nice and tight in. Happy to get the headlights in. On to the taillights. Couple things on the taillights, nothing major here, but you do the wiring on the outside, so go under, fish the factory 5 wiring out the hole, do the wiring, and then you feed it in. I tried it the reverse. There's no space on the inside of the fender to do any wiring, so kind of makes sense to do it this way. The other thing too, just to kind of keep in mind that the ground on these is white, not black. Another mistake I made and caught. So little things, but otherwise pretty straightforward here. Gonna feed this in and keep going. Well, here's my solution to a backup light. I wanted to keep it kind of discreet, not something that's going to show up too much. So as you know, and you can tell by this image, again, I did not use the quick jack or any type of bumper on this. So that left me with an extra hole. Not that I couldn't have filled that hole because I had done it on the front, but right from the get-go, I noticed that that location of that bottom hole is right about where I wanted a reverse light. And it just so happens that it's funny how things work out this way, but the lights that I had chosen have a 1/2-inch diameter bolt, and they slide right into that hole. So these are very, very bright little LEDs. And I think it's kind of a nice, elegant solution. It more or less disappears when you're standing behind the car, you really don't notice it that much. But now I have a couple of reverse lights. They're small, but man, they're potent. I've practiced with them, and they light up the space behind the car nicely. So.
I could have. I could have.
So this isn't so exciting, but I got my little license plate holder and light in place. You can see I painted in the cover of the car color. Not that I have anything against chrome, but didn't want it there. And more importantly, I got my third tail brake light in, and pretty happy with that. Looks good. Bright as hell. As soon as I get somebody out in the garage here with me to hit the brake pedal, I'll show you what I mean, but it's obnoxious, and I want it obnoxious. But looks good. Well, definitely well integrated. You know, everything kind of fit, color fits, everything fits. So there you have it. And I think, I don't know what I'm doing next. All the little things that you forget you didn't do before you painted. That's where I'm at. All of that is in working order. That's in good shape. No wiring issues. So I guess that's it for now. I think as it stands right now, I can officially say that every light in the car works, which is a nice treat. So I'm still trying to get the state here to do an inspection. I'll let you know how that goes, and kind of all that sure how long it takes them to do that, but that's where we are for right now. And I'll try to get somebody out in the garage here with me to press some pedals here and get some lights going for you. Hit the brakes.
Can we hold down?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's the little things like the flashers work. That's always kind of a nice treat. First time, flip the switch, and everything flashes that's supposed to, and nothing's flashing that's not supposed to. So that means that all of my spaghetti inside so far is working pretty well. Keep plugging along here. Well, today's the day that I'm going to work on cleaning all the aluminum in prep for sound deadening. Been really looking forward to this. I can imagine this is going to be one of those kind of satisfying projects where you're really at that point in the car where, you know, all the big stuff is done. I just finished up all the lighting. I can officially say that every light on this car works, and it works the way it's supposed to. So that was my kind of little mini goal yesterday. I had a little issue with the reverse lights and some polarity issues, but those work great now. So now I'm on to just doing some cleaning. You know, as you can tell, this is traditional Maine here. Yesterday it was 75, and now it's this morning I woke up it was 36. So that's par for the course here. But so gonna do some cleaning and then start laying some of the mat. I just picked a sound absorbing mat and heat reflective mat from off of Amazon. I'll show you what I got. Nothing special there. I think I see most people using this stuff. It's relatively inexpensive, but As you'll see, I'm going to focus mainly on the areas that I'm concerned with, separating me from the engine, floors, a little bit of the back. I'm not concerned about damping sounds in the trunk, but definitely maybe do a couple extra layers. I might double up on the material in the footwells, but we'll see. So yeah, you're gonna stick around and watch me wash everything down with acetone to make sure the mat has a really good clean surface to bite to. Well, this is a nice treat. No rocket science here. Putting this stuff down. Sound deadening mat goes in pretty quickly, and you're not trying to make it something that's air and water tight. You're trying to dampen the sound of the aluminum panels. So your fit doesn't have to be perfect. I've seen some people actually cut templates and template all this out, and I did a few of those areas, but for the most part, you can kind of press this stuff in place, and then using your thumbnail or a screwdriver, just press into the corner, and that leaves a indentation in the foil. At that point, you can just use that as a guide for cutting it, and that's kind of how I did it. There's, for the most part, no real gaps anywhere. I will say that doing up underneath there is not something I ever want to have to do again, and I wished I had done this to those panels before I put the body on, before I sealed up the driver's side foot box. Even actually doing it on the raw panels before I even riveted them into place would have been the right call. So for those of you embarking on this journey, put some sound deadening on the foot boxes before you assemble them on the driver's side. Passenger side's piece of cake. You got all that open space there, but man, the driver's side's that was not a treat. So for a more thorough job, put the sound deadening in before you assemble the foot box. Like I said, I would actually do it on the raw aluminum before the panels actually even go onto the car, just noting where they mount to the frame. You don't want sound deadening material there, but every place else, definitely. So there you have it. On to the next stage here with the tunnel cover. Oh, and just let me just give you a note here on this, because I'm sure a few of you probably have spotted it. This right here, this access hole, that's simply a hole. I have a cover that, and you see the threaded inserts, I have a cover that covers that. This is so I can tighten the bolts down on my oh shit handles. Once the cover is in, the only way to tighten those down is from up underneath the car, and I practiced on that a few times. It's doable, but not advisable, I'll put it that way. So I'm gonna, with the little access hole, I can get to those pretty easily. The ones in the front, I can go right in through the cup holders, so that's easy. So that's what that is. More on this to come.
So I'm gonna wrap the video up on this. Next step is going to be doing the carpet and putting in the rest of the interior, and that involves some of the trim pieces that kind of surround the edges of the carpet, things like that. One note on the on the sound deadening mat. I will say that it's borderline an aerobic exercise putting this stuff in. It's tough on the fingers. It's tough on the joints. You're rolling. You're twisting. Especially when you get into those foot boxes, you're in really kind of uncomfortable positions. So a little achy after doing this, but glad it's done. So yeah, so next you'll see carpet. And I think the next video you'll see an absolutely completed interior. All the parts are poised and ready to be installed. So stay tuned and thanks for watching.